Guys. So I've been going through some pretty heavy mental health stuff over the last 4 months. I mean, it's been off and on most of my life, but this time around, about the last 4 months. And I just wanted to share some of the things that God has been teaching me in this time. Um, Suffering is awful, and none of us want to go through it. But God is amazing in the way that he uses suffering for our good. And that sounds horrible. But I mean, if you think about it, if everything's nice and cozy, we're not going to be motivated to change. And, you don't realize how much change you still need to do, how much closer you could be to God until your life and your mentality kind of gets twisted upside down. So at this point in my struggle, it's still a constant struggle for the most part. But it's been the strangest thing because I have chosen, and I've asked God to help me do this, to prioritize praying and reading the Bible and just spending quiet time with him. And that's made such a huge difference because instead of wasting this time complaining and feeling miserable and just scrambling, trying to find the quickest way out, I've started to lean into it, and I'm starting to ask God, okay, what is it that you have to show me? What is it I need to know? What are the things I need to experience in order to be prepared for whatever it is you have for me next? And so today, in my quiet time, well, it wasn't even really a quiet time. It was just kind of me reading something, and when something hit me, I chose to sit down with it and talk to God with it. And I read about boasting in our weaknesses. And that really hit me because I have this funky idea of what being healed is. And I didn't realize. I still think there's more for me to unpack there. But I have this subconscious idea that if I am healed, I'm going to go back to normal. That I will be able to handle everything with ease, a little bit of irritation and frustration here and there, getting sad at sad things, but, I'll just be able to bounce right back and everything will be fine. And the more I look at everyone around me, that's not how life works. Being healed doesn't mean that nothing is ever difficult, that nothing is ever blah, that we don't still have struggles. And so I inadvertently thought that if I was healed, I wouldn't need God as much. And I didn't put it that way in my thought process, but when I boiled it down to, when I boiled all of my ways of thinking and feeling, I kind of came out that way, that when I am out of this proverbial forest, I won't have to rely on God for daily things. And that is such a false idea because the whole point, I think, why God is allowing me to go through this is so that I rely on him more. Because, previously I did Bible study and I would pray, but I would also go through lots of periods where I didn't take it very seriously, and I would just do a couple minutes here, a couple minutes there. And I didn't prioritize my relationship with God. And God allows things in our lives to draw us closer to him, to be in a closer relationship, not just a couple minutes here and there, but to actually really get to know him. And the Bible backs this idea of us needing God up. It's how we should be living. It's how we should be positioning our thought processes. So this is from 2 Corinthians 4. But we have this treasure in clay jars, so that it may be made clear that this extraordinary power belongs to God and does not come from us. We are afflicted in every way, but not crushed, perplexed, but not driven to despair, persecuted, but not forsaken, struck down, but not destroyed, always carrying in the body the death of Jesus, so that the life of Jesus may be made visible in our bodies. And then the verse that really struck me to do all of this was, or to just sit down earlier today, was my grace is sufficient for you, for power is made perfect in weakness. So I will boast all the more gladly of any weaknesses, so that the power of Christ may dwell in me. And that's Paul, and he, if you've been reading the Bible for any length of time, you know how many awful trials he went through. And so here he is saying that, like, it's good to be weak. It's good to acknowledge our weakness so that Christ's power may be made visible in us. So I hope that encourages somebody. Yes, we are weak, but he is strong. And that's who we should be relying on anyway, not ourselves. So yeah.